checks. Get my lighting on. Oh boy, we're getting a late start tonight. I don't want to hear it. It's not my fault. Talk to Ken. Ken did it. I told you talk to Ken. Don't give me no sass, cat. This cat over here sassing me. He's so sassy. Yeah, you're so sassy. You got sound. Do. Calm down, sir. Don't. Check, triple check. Well, let's see. Hey, what's going on, guys? Can anybody hear me? I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. It's the only thing I couldn't hear myself on my PC, but that has happened before. Let's try this. Make sure we're connected. We are. Okay. Heyo. Wellington, what's happening? I think I got sound now. What's going on, you guys? Sorry we're getting a late start tonight. I'm just getting home a little bit ago. Went out and met up with Ken the Man from the channel here, you guys. He's in the chat. And we went up and I met with him. He's driving across country, so we met up and had dinner and hung out and got to meet his wife and kids and family. And man, it was absolutely amazing, you guys. A lot of fun. Great guy. So you'll have to forgive me if I'm a little worn out, but we're here, we're doing it. So that's how it goes. Wendy, how's it going? So hopefully you guys can hear me all right. Hopefully. That's why. I don't know if they'll hear me. Yep. Are John seeing you, Jamie? Hearing's fine. Okay, nice, 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 nice. Yeah, I think my Bluetooth hooks up over here. And then I'm here. The phone's just at a funny angle. Oh, there we go. Now we got okay, cool. So yeah, whenever I hook up my headphones, my computer hooks up to them as well. And so sometimes my phone gets a little confused and I can't tell if it's working on my phone or my computer. But I'm glad you can hear me, you guys. Amazing. What's going on? A jump scared you? You're calling ICE? Oh no. They're gonna take me away, man. I fit the criteria. Okay. Yeah, man. We had a great time with Ken. Drove down, hung out with him, hung out with Ken and the family. That was really cool, you guys. What a great night we had. We sat at Applebee's. Oh, you guys, though. Applebee's was a terrible choice. I did not enjoy it. It wasn't the, I don't know if it was Applebee's, but probably my choice of what I ate. Telling them you're a Patagonian with fake papers. Oh, look out. Yeah, yeah. So but we went to Applebee's. It's probably what I ordered. I don't it was really dumb of me to order. How could I not have just ordered a burger or something, right? I mean, well, if you're going to Applebee's, keep it simple, order a burger. I ordered this. I don't even know why I did it, but it was like this macaroni and cheese with hot pepper honey chicken strips on it. Bad decision, Toots. Bad decision. What were you thinking? Unbelievable. Man, I should have known better than that. I didn't eat much of the pasta. Of course, I don't eat pasta anyway, but the pasta tasted like it was out of a box. And the sauce, the four cheese, I mean, it tasted just exactly like, I don't know, like kind of like a thick fettuccine or white sauce, like just a plain white sauce is what it tasted like. And so it just wasn't the best. But like I said, my fault for ordering it. What do you get? What do you expect? At least when you're at Applebee's, your family. Yeah, yeah. When you're at Applebee's, your family. Is that where Fast and Furious gang hang out? Brandon, how are we, man? Oh, I am fantastic. How are you, brother? We had a great night. Just got back. We're starting a little late, but it's for good reason. We went and hung out with Ken. He driving his diesel truck cross country. I watched him fill it up, and it about broke my wallet watching him fill it up. Watched that, said, "Oh no, that's a lot of fuel, man." Chase, I don't even need a menu there. Bourbon street steak every time. Okay, well, I don't go very often. I don't eat out hardly ever anyway, and I haven't been to Applebee's in probably 10 years or something or longer. 15 years maybe. So I can't even remember the last time I was at Applebee's. So I don't know, man. I was confused. I got lost in the moment. You're looking at the menu and, ooh, that looks good. It did not come out looking like what it was supposed to look like on the menu. The chicken strips were tiny too. That was the bad part. The chicken strips should be like the main part of the meal, but no, they were little. Yep, my mistake. Brandon says, "Good to see you. Good to see you lot. Late start. It's almost 5 a.m. here now. Hope you're well." Jamie and Toots. Heck yeah. Alice has a weird tablet menu now. Oh, this was definitely hard menus. And the other thing was, it wasn't just that the food, but this place, I don't know, young people working there, which is fine, but it just wasn't clean, super dirty. Of course, it's Friday night at Applebee's. I mean, I don't know. I just probably have too much expectation. I don't go out enough anymore to understand the ways of the world out there. I only know the ways of home now. I'm not a worldly traveler anymore, you guys. So, but just like everything else, we overcome those moments and we go out and we dealt with it and it is what it is and we move on. We won't think about it again. What world is Eastern Kentucky more tech advanced? Hey man, you should see the town that it's in that it like the town's called Lebanon and it's a real like old world town still. They haven't like revamped it and a lot of the buildings it's you know whenever it was built up in the I don't know, probably in the early 1900s or in the 20s, 30s, something like that when they started building it up. But it just kept that old world, so the buildings are all really, really kind of run down. I mean, the bathroom was, man, yikes. There's no Applebee's in UK. Am I missing anything? You are not, brother. Not in my opinion. Um, I think I could have went about. I think actually, you know what, guys? To be honest with you, this is hard to say. I think I would have enjoyed McDonald's more than Applebee's. I'd have got more value for my money, and the food would have been just as good. Wah, wah. That's no good, is it? Yeah. So you guys, tonight we are talking about uh, why do you get angry? You guys, you ever wonder that? You ever think about that? Why we get angry? James says, "Oh, that's hillbilly saying means doing okay." Fair to Midland. Oh, okay. I see. I see. I missed that one. Fair to Midland, Brandon. Gotcha. Yeah. I'm not saying it would beat it, but it would have been just as good, and McDonald's is cheaper. You know what I'm saying? Like for what I ordered. I think if I would have ordered like their bacon cheeseburger or whatever they had, it would have been just fine. With French fries, probably would have been fine. It was my fault for ordering something, trying to, I'm in this mode now where I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone everywhere I go. And so I'm trying all these different things and trying to do different things. And sometimes it's just a flop, man. Sometimes you stick with the classics for a reason. Like, for instance, this beautiful cup of coffee. It's cold coffee, iced coffee, but still. Mm, Jamie, because we're human with emotions, that's why we get angry. What are emotions, dude? What even are those, Jamie? What are emotions? This is kind of deep, you guys. Our emotions. Levin bought their Applebee's from Temu. I don't know. I think it's worse than that. I think they bought them from like I don't know the Sears catalog in the '70s, and then they're still holding on to it or something. They're still using that same old. It was funny. This is what you never want to see at Applebee's, but or at any bar restaurant. But this lady's over there making a drink, and she's struggling. And she's looking at the drink. She's wondering what she's putting in, and she puts something in, and then she just stops and sits there and looks at it for like for like 30 seconds. She's looking at this drink, going, "What do I do next?" Oh no! And then she turns around, she starts talking to somebody, asking them about it, and I'm just like, "Oh man, I'm glad that's not my drink being made." Yikes! Who knows how that's going to turn out? Of course, I haven't had alcohol in quite some time, but I could probably. I would say that I could probably drink if I wanted to, and it'd be just fine. I could have a couple drinks, but I just choose not to. It's not for me. Uh, Brandon says, hold on. What I miss? What I miss? What I miss? Okay, and why we get angry because we're human? No, and emotions unfortunately rule us in some odd way. Yeah, Brandon, that's what I'm talking about, man. What are emotions, you guys? What even is that? You ever wonder that? You guys ever wonder what emotion is? What is it? Is it real? Is emotion real or is it just in our heads? Is emotion just a thought and it's not real, it's not tangible. You can't take it out and show it to anybody. It doesn't do anything for you. You don't get anything from it. Is it even real or is it just something that's in our heads? What the heck is it? And is anger a part of that? Very interesting, isn't it? See, Brandon says anger is a part of what makes us human. It's a part of what makes us feel alive. It reminds you you're here, just like pain and happiness. It's all a package. Very interesting. Very interesting. Do you think that good things come from anger then? Do you think good comes from that? James says anything that escalates our adrenaline dopamine or de-escalates it, good or bad? Well, I don't know, Jamie, because I get rushes of adrenaline now and I don't get angry at all about it anymore. I've completely separated that out of my life. So I don't know, man. I don't think so. I think that emotion, that part of it is something we create in our minds. That side of it, the chemical reaction, yes. The adrenaline, the the chills or the or that rush or whatever. But the other part of it, the part that's in the mind, the emotional part of it, the thought of it, of what it even is, like where does that come from? This is pretty deep stuff right here. When something happens, um, let's say, somebody, I don't know, runs into you out in public or something, right? They bump into you, or somebody cuts you off in traffic, right? Let's say somebody cuts you off in traffic. What is that anger that you feel? What is that? Where does it come from? And why does something that somebody else does cause us to have something inside of us that then at the end of it, do we even have it? What is it at the end of it all? After the anger happens, what do we have? Like you don't get anything from it, right? It's there's nothing that comes from it except like you say, if it's something that imprints on you to remind you of something. But then couldn't you just aren't we smart enough that we don't need reminding, that if we just stayed present in the moment, we would never need a reminder of that? Isn't that deep, you guys? What is that stuff, man? Uh, let's see. Brandon says, no, they're not real. I agree with that. Jamie, chemical reactions, in my opinion, very real. Well, the chemical reactions, well, okay, well, maybe I'm probably behind. I already said that. It's completely personable. Pat, what's up? What's up, brother? Jimmy, you can learn to control it, but never beat it. That's interesting, brother. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think you can beat it, Jamie. Um, I can't say for sure because obviously there's still a lot of future ahead of me. But I haven't been angry in a long time, man. And I used to be angry all the time. Also, the even more than that, I used to have anxiety and depression and fear, and I don't have any of those anymore. And I don't fight them; they're just not there. Um, I don't get attacked in that way anymore because I see what's going on inside of my head. And so I don't know, brother. I think you can. I think you can beat it, but I think you have to really understand beyond the chemical reaction what those thoughts are created, because the chemical reaction is one thing, right, where our body is constantly having those reactions inside of us, but the reaction that we have emotionally, that doesn't have anything to do with the chemical. That's a reaction that comes through somewhere else. Where does that even come from? When something happens and we get that rush, where does the thoughts come from that's connected with that? Are those ours? Is that from us? Or does it come from somewhere else? Do you ever think about that? Like go deeper than the actual, just the surface part of it or the body part of it. But when you get into the part that's not real, that thought part of it, that is just uh, you know, all the different emotions that are going through your head or whatever. And then think about how you could have something happen and then this other person's having something completely different. I mean, that's even more crazy about how not realistic they are, that not everybody even has the same one. They're all having these different reactions at different times about different stuff. Let's see. Let's see. Pat said, "What's up? What's up, Pat?" Jamie. Okay, yeah, you can learn to control it. Pat says, "What's up? You got a problem?" I don't know that I have a problem. I'm not sure what we're talking about though. I have no problem, brother. Brandon says, "What angers the next person can make one happy, just like music. Some will." Yeah, yeah, I agree. Absolutely. That's even deeper, right? Then you start to think about, well, man, if it's chemical reaction, then why isn't it the same for everybody? What's going on inside people's heads where that reaction causes different emotion? This deep stuff here, you guys. He says everybody has opposite anger, love, sad, happy. Um, hmm, very interesting. I have to think about that. I say very few. uh, Well, this is what we are talking about, Jamie. Yeah. When you talk about um, human emotion, you talk about what we call love. And that's why we keep falling back and forth between anger and love. Jamie, you truly cannot have both. You can't have anger and love in a spiritual way. You can have it in a human of the flesh way, but that's of the ego. If you want real love, which is what we talked about, and real happiness, which comes from perfect peace, you have to go through God. And then that's God's love, which would have no emotion. There's no anger in that. None, zero. That's all it is love, no anger. Branson, good, good can absolutely come from anger, but predominantly no. Anger is usually a feeling that is reacted upon quickly. Um, any good can come from anger beyond overcoming it and seeing it, or in a different way. Are you talking about, Brandon? I can see that if you are getting angry and then but then you overcome and you can see it, and then in that moment you see yourself and can change and can admit you're wrong, then yeah, I say that's good. But I don't see too many times, actually none at all, where someone gets angry and that's better for them in some way. I don't. Actually, yeah, I've never seen that. I've never seen someone get angry and then me think, oh well, now they're better off that they got angry. Do you really see that? Brandon says, it's better suppressed, and with thought, you can react much different. Very interesting. Very interesting. I think for me, if I just don't react to it, if I see something and I have even that thought crosses your mind of saying, okay, like that makes you mad. If you know that you're ready for that and you're watching for that, then you don't even have to accept that. You don't have to say, oh, I'm getting mad about something just because that thought's in your head. That only changes whenever you react to it and then the anger comes out, right? If you can see it and catch it before it's yours, then it's still Satan's in your head, you guys. If you can see it, because you know it's not you, right? Otherwise, you would be in control of it. You would never, if you were in control of it, you wouldn't have anger, right? I think, Jamie, you can agree with this, right? If you were in control of it, you wouldn't have anger. You'd be at perfect peace all the time, right? But we can't control that side of it because that's Satan's part of it. But what you can control is knowing that that isn't you until you react to it and then you get angry. But before then, it was just a thought, man. It wasn't even real. Let's see. Jamie says, if you watch someone harm family, you 100% getting angry. I don't care how then. Well, I don't know. I'm not in that position, so I don't really like to say that I would or I wouldn't. But I think I could react not out of anger. I think that I could, I'm not saying that I would just stand by and let it happen. I think that I could fight them off or, um, you know, do whatever you have to do, defend yourself. And I think you can do that without anger. In fact, I think that if you like talk to people who deal in that world of hurting or, you know, where they do a lot of like military and stuff, or fighting in the fighting world or stuff like that, I would say they probably tell you to not get angry first. They probably want you to not do it from a spot of anger. They want to teach you how to do it from like the calmest place you could possibly be. And that's like when you're like, especially in the military, you're talking about life or death. So I couldn't imagine there being any more opportunity there being that serious than that. I guess except for like you said, if you're, your family, your brother or someone there with you. Levels to everything. Brand says, absolutely, but it isn't always possible to just stop and think in the moment. Sometimes as humans, we react incredibly quickly. Uh, Brandon, I think you'd be surprised, man, if you work on it. I think you'd be very surprised what you could accomplish if you worked at it all the time. If you stayed present 24/7 and you were always watching and ready for it, I think then you would be like, man, I didn't even realize that I could never have that thought again. Always see anger before it comes and never have it again, man. I think you'd surprise yourself, but it truly takes understanding what's going on, letting go of it completely, letting go that you think that you have control, but you have to understand that you don't have control. So once you let go of control, you basically give control to God, and then He comes in and He starts pulling you away out of that moment over and over again. And as you go through it, I mean, it just like eventually it's gone. So keep working at it though, guys. If you really want to drop it, you can. You can drop your anger for sure, and not just don't take it from me, but other people that have done it as well. So, Acid, what's going on, buddy? Is Ace here too? I didn't see Ace. Is he in here? Maybe he's down here. I like your attitude. If only we all thought in such a way. Yeah, that's why we're talking about this, Brandon. So true, man. That's exactly why we talk like this. That's exactly why we fellowship. That's why I've been doing it. That's why, actually, in fact, it's exactly why. When it happened to me and I overcame that spirit, I've been, just trying to tell my closest people that were around me, um, what I had gone through and my experience with it. And then they like like you're saying, they saw it and they understood it, and then they wanted to work on it. So it was just like that. And then as I went on, I realized, man, if we don't talk about this stuff, you guys, nobody will ever understand this. It'll be a whole world of anger forever and everyone. And if you just knew what was going on inside, you would see it's not even you, you guys. It is not you in there. Isn't that wild what goes on in our heads? Seriously, it is not you, you guys. We are being controlled by spirits. Jimmy says, some way one medicine chemically balances one person, but will not another. Yeah. Um, and in that way, I'm no doctor, so I can't get into the doctor side of things, but I know that many times if we told people the truth about what's going on in their heads, they could overcome a lot of it without being given medicine. I think that we use medicine as a crutch for a lot of that stuff. And I think sometimes we can't we can't lie about it. We got to tell people what it is so then they can see it. If I tell you that, it's Satan inside your head and it's evil inside your head, then you would take it seriously and you will truly try and look into that. If I tell you, oh, it's a bad spirit, or I try and soften it, or I try and weaken it for you, then you don't, people aren't going to care about it as much. So I think just being honest and telling the truth about stuff like that could help people. Now, again, I don't know. I'm no doctor, so I'm no expert on that kind of stuff. Bug says, watch your posture. All right. I'm not sure. Are you talking to me? I'm going to watch my posture like this, you mean? Is that better? I'm very tired, so my posture might be bad tonight, Bug. Thank you. Thank you. I'll watch my posture. Yes, it says, pray to God in the morning and evening, and you will have no problems in health or mentally. Very interesting, brother. That's so true, too, Acid. Not just praying, but obviously completely letting go of that. Nothing's a problem anymore for me. I have no problems. Everything is another thing for me to overcome, and I absolutely love it. Just like tonight, I was telling Ken before I went to meet him, and we were going to dinner. You guys, every thought came in my head like, oh man, you don't have to go. You can just stay here. You could relax. You're going to be late for fellowship. You don't want to do that. You want to stay home. You guys, if you listen to the thoughts, man, they'll keep you from doing anything. You cannot listen to those thoughts going on. That's how I overcome this stuff. I don't listen to that, man. I know it's not me. I just move through and do whatever I do, and I ignore all that. The more I do it, the better I am. Let's see. Jamie says, even Bible says slow to anger. It doesn't say no to anger. Well, but Jamie, it's talking about God's anger, which is different. I know it's very confusing. This is why you got to be very careful when talking about this stuff. His ways are not our ways, Jamie. Human anger and God's anger are two different things. God's anger isn't emotional. It's not an emotion like what our anger is, just like God's love isn't an emotion. God's love is not having anger at all for anything. That's what God's love is. No hate, none. And then God's anger, I'm sorry, it's no hate. And then God's anger is discernment of evil. It has nothing to do with him being mad. He discerns evil. He sees it and he knows what it is, but it's not anger in a human form. So anyway, I understand they say that they talk about anger. It's just they don't. I don't know. Maybe they don't tell people that it's different. But yeah, if you compare your anger to God's anger, I mean, that's a huge mistake, my friend. Let's see. Brandon says, okay, so understand that some people are far too good to react based on feelings. The anger that is lit inside them can cause them to react for a good cause. Okay. Interesting, interesting. But even here's all, uh, Brandon, if they had the same reaction but didn't have the anger, it would still be just as good. It's not the anger that makes it. It would be the reaction to whatever the situation is. And I think that I can't think of anything, and maybe you can tell me, but be specific, what would happen where anger would make the situation result better at the end than if you were perfectly calm. And especially, well, here, and if we're talking about material world, obviously there may be different things that you're talking about material, but spiritually, definitely, how could you be better at the end if you got angry about something? I don't think there's any way spiritually it can be beneficial. I guess we should talk about that too, whether we're talking about spiritual or of earthly things. Let's see, Jamie says, but I know how you feel on Bible. So, bad example. Well, yeah, I'm not in, but I think I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, the Bible is very accurate on a lot of things. I just think if you try and get into the Bible that deep, then, what we've talked about, it can be too confusing to understand. And then you try and understand it, and then it leads you down the wrong path, is all. But yeah, no, we got to talk about the Bible, man. It's very important. Uh, it's important that people understand what's going on with that too. For instance, anger doesn't always mean bad things. Anger can defeat evil. Absolutely. All right. Interesting. Very interesting. As says, I never have anger. Never had. Uh, nice. I said, well, I definitely had it before. I had serious anger issues. But a lot of it, though, was taken away from me as soon as I went and forgave my mom. When I went and forgave her, I saw that I was holding on to that anger, that resentment from what happened from my childhood and stuff. So that was a big part for me. I would say that's probably gonna be a big part for everybody. I always tell everybody go and forgive. That way you can see, that way God can forgive you. Brand says, okay, so maybe there is a misconception on how we talk about anger here. I believe this emotion can be used for good as all can. Yep. Yeah, Brandon, I agree. And I understand because I think people think that they take their anger and like use it and it can like benefit. Like if they get mad, they can like, be better at a activity or something like fighting, like running, like a sport or something. When you get like football, right? If you get angry, you do better at it. But I just don't think that helps us spiritually, right? It may help you in football though. If that's what you're going for, if that's the end result and football is the main thing, then yeah. But if you're trying to keep your spirit free of anger, then it's definitely not going to help that. Jim says, well, I will never be that spiritually good. I'm 100% getting angry. But to be fair, the Royd guy probably shouldn't be answering. So I digress. Yeah, no, I understand completely. Imagine overcoming on that too. I think that you could do it. It's all in your head. So it's just as much as you want to go, as deep as you want to go with it, God's there for you. You can go through it the whole way, like what I've done, or you can just try and work on a little bit or whatever. But even in those moments, you could overcome 100%, Jamie. It's just going to take you staying present all the time. I mean, if you slip into imagination for 1 second and then something happens, boom, you'll have that instant anger. But staying present is the key. Staying out of the imagination, staying out of the past, staying out of thought, staying out of anything that's not real and not happening right now in the moment. That's how I have to be all the time. I have to stay present 24/7. If I go into the imagination even for a second, then the devil can start talking to me in my head. See, Tat, what's up? Meditate, meditate, meditate. Tat, I'm very close to agreeing with that, except I say observate, observate, observate. When you go into meditation, you fall away, you separate yourself from being in the present. You want to, that's a separation from the body, a mind and body separation. I say observate. I say go in like you're meditating, but instead of falling away from the body, stay in it and watch every single thing that's going on in your head. It's like a little movie theater up here. It's like it's always right here in front of your eyes. As soon as you close your eyes, man, that movie starts, right? And it's just going, 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 going right here. Sit in there and watch that and pay attention to it, but have no reaction to it. No matter how extreme and wild it gets in your head, don't talk to it. Don't have any reaction to it. But watch every bit of it so you know excuse me, so you know what's that Applebee's. So you know what's going on. And then you'll see that stuff going on in your head, that ain't you, man. But it is very similar to that, though, Tat. Very similar. I just say don't fall into it, but I know I do understand what you're saying, brother. Jamie says, seeing kids harmed will always anger me, etc. Yeah, I understand that too. Things of the world used to anger me as well. But now that I see that anger does me no good, there's no point in having it, man. It doesn't do me any good. No matter how many times I get angry, no matter how much I get angry at other people or at the world or at kids being hurt or at sick animals or all this stuff or animals being abused or kids being abused or all this stuff. If I get angry at it, man, it doesn't help it at all. It doesn't help me and it doesn't help the situation. That's why I've dropped it. It does nothing for me. I do understand what you're saying, though. Let's see. Martin, hello. What's happening? It tells us to be slow to anger. Yeah, I agree. I would have to look into the verse a little more. I do know that it says something to that effect in there you're talking about, Jamie. I would have to look into it a little more because, again, you know that I'm just not that much into the Bible. So, but I think that that's probably more of a meaning that means slow to anger. It's basically saying no to anger. It means be able to take everything without getting angry. It's just worded in a way that anybody can. This is exactly why you got to be careful with the Bible, guys. Exactly. Because what I can take from that text is it says no to anger. But someone can take that being, well, as long as you don't get angry too quick, it's just fine. But that's saying what it means is slow to anger means is don't let anything get to you. No matter how much it builds up, no matter what it does, don't let it get to you. That's the true meaning of it. But, I understand that's what it says, man. And you're right, Jamie. So that's why it's difficult to talk about the Bible like that because what it means and what it says a lot of times aren't the same thing, man. And people can take it either literally or they can take it as a lesson or they can take it metaphor. You see what I'm saying? I mean, there's so much confusion in that. If you don't find what's right inside yourself first, you'll be lost in it. Let's see. Brent says, I agree. Absolutely. God's anger is absolutely not comparable to ours. He is trying to make us understand. That's all. Yep. Very true. Jimmy, let every man be quick to listen, but slow to use his tongue and slow to lose his temper. Yep. Yeah, so slow that it never even happens, I say, Jamie. So slow to lose your temper that it would not be possible. Do you think did I mean when they were crucifying Jesus, he didn't lose his temper. You know what I'm saying? Being calm in those moments. And I think what they're talking about is being angry in God's way of sin or evil, which is to discern it. Don't be fooled by it. Don't be blinded to it. But again, interpretation, man. Let's see. There's a spiritual versus earthly. I agree, but I believe we all fall short spiritually. And when we're well, absolutely, except for it's not you that falls short. It's that spirit of evil that's in you that you're not even seeing. If you saw that wasn't you, then you would even know that when that happens and Satan does get to you, God doesn't, he's not worried about that moment. He's worried about you coming back to him after that moment. God's not sitting there thinking, man, why is he doing that? He's just sitting there saying, when's he going to come back? He's looking at his watch going, when's Jamie going to come back to me, man? Just snap out of it, Jamie. That's all God wants you to do. Snap out of it and come right back to me. Even when those moments happen, we think we fall away from God, Jamie. This is so deep. We think we fall so far away from him that he's going to hate us forever, that he'll never have us back from something so tiny and little. And instead, God's just sitting there waiting every single second for you to just come right back on the path, man. You don't have to think about it again. And God doesn't care about the past. It's over. He's not sitting there trying to make you worry about it. That's us. We'll think about the past and every single mistake we've made. But God's moved on already. As soon as you come back to him, he's forgotten every single thing from the past, man. He knows that you had to have, when you've had that change of heart, he sees it and you're right back on the path. Francis, you talk very well, brother. If we're talking spiritually, the absolutely not. Okay. All right. I'm not sure. I'm sorry. I think I have a little trouble understanding what I appreciate you saying about talking very well, but if we're talking spiritually, maybe it's meant to say then absolutely not. Okay, I think that's what you meant to say. If we're talking spiritually, then absolutely not. Okay, gotcha. Yes. No good comes from it. And we're talking about anger, right? No good comes from. Okay, I got you. I'm with you, Brandon. I'm with you. Sorry, but sometimes it takes me a minute. I'm a little dumb. There's no room for anger. It's a useless human emotion, but as human, I must say anger keeps me grounded. It reminds me of where I was and where I am as to treat others in the future. Uh-huh. I can see that, Brandon. And I would say also that sometimes we use that as a way of kind of justifying the anger to ourselves. We're saying, "Oh, but it was good, but I got good from it." But I assure you that if you were to talk to Jesus or God and ask either one of them and say, "Hey, is my anger good?" They'd say, "I don't care what, how you used it or whatever. It wasn't good because it took you into a place that was away from God." That's all. Not about the situation or any of that other stuff, but God really only cares about you being separated from him. And if you fall into that, into that anger and you're not one with God, that's the sin. See, Jamie says prayer is asking God for answers and meditation is listening for his answers. In my opinion, yeah. Uh, in fact, Jamie, anytime I pray now, I don't hardly ever ask God for anything at all. Nothing of the material world for sure, no material things, and not like to help sick people or anything like that. I don't ask God for that stuff. The only thing I ask God for is to give me the strength to overcome and his will be done. It's the only thing I ask of God now. I ask him nothing else. Whatever his plan is, it's fine with me. All I need is the strength to overcome whatever he puts in front of me, and then his will be done. That's it. And other than that, I don't even ask for stuff. I just do the silent prayer. If you guys are interested in the silent prayer, which is like meditation, except it's observation, rebuildingtheman.com/silent prayer. If you guys are interested, check it out. It will blow your mind when you start doing it and you see what's going on in there. Yeah, yeah, I don't ask God for anything else anymore but that. Brandon says, "Do you believe this, Jamie?" I do. Brandon says, "Unless meditation for you is different, maybe I'm being trivial and imagining it rather silly." Well, no, meditation is definitely real because you fall into the imagination in meditation. You want to separate yourself from the body. I say it's a bad thing. I think a lot of people say it's a good thing. And I'm not saying that it can't bring you an enlightenment in a way, but it takes you out of the present. It puts you on somewhere else. And God just doesn't want you there in that world. He wants you in the present, right, with him every single moment. I don't mean like Buddha meditation. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like reflecting. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, that's more like silent prayer then. That's way more. If you, Jamie, check out the silent prayer, check out rebuildingtheman.com/silent prayer. I'll bet you'll see that what we're talking about is much more in a line than what you're saying, like how you said, not the Buddha meditation, not the Om and separating. So, yeah, what you're saying, that makes much more sense, brother. Of course, Jamie, I can understand that. But then I do this almost every few minutes. In that respect, you always have to stop and reflect. Yes, 100%. That's how you stay present, Brandon. Always be in that self-reflection moment 24/7, but not lost in the thought of it, just where you're watching yourself in the moment. You're watching, like when you go to reach for your glass, you're watching yourself pick it up. You're seeing it. You're staying in the moment. You're taking a drink. You're tasting the drink. You're staying in the moment. You're not drinking or eating. This is what people do a lot. They're eating all this food. You're eating. You're eating. You're eating. But you never were eating food the whole time. You're in your imagination. You're thinking about work. You're thinking about I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do this. Next thing you know, how can you how can you be in the moment and even process the food that you're eating to not overeat when you're lost in the imagination like that, you guys. Happens all the time though. People do it all the time. Brandon says, I like you, Jamie, and Toots. Nice. I'm new here. Sorry to no, you're not spamming. Did you spam something? No, you're good, brother. This is exactly what this is, Brandon. This is fellowship, man. Everybody's welcome. It's all that's what we do here. We're just talking. We're just talking about God and just sharing the truth. And so other people can have these opportunities to overcome as well, man. It's exactly why we do it. So, and we love you too, brother. Welcome. You're always welcome here. Jimmy says, oh, that verse is 100% saying that to become more whole spiritually. So you're right in that effect. Amazing, Jamie. Amazing. So you're good, Brittany. You ain't seen anything close to spam yet. Yeah. No, things can get wild in here, but we let that happen too, man. Whatever goes on in here, this is the place to bring it. You guys, after since overcoming with my situation, the worldly things do not affect me anymore. So when people come in, I actually welcome it. I like it when people come in and they try and jam me up, give me a hard time, troll me, try and be mean, try and be hateful. I always want to make sure that I'm never having those emotions anymore. I don't want to be emotional. I don't want to have anger. I even have to watch it to try and not. I want to ease it. When someone comes in like that, I don't want to be mean or be hateful about it or kick them out. But I also don't want to be instantly serious where they think that I'm not a normal person. I like to come back with something to try and be funny or lighten them because they accept it more. And then as soon as they see that we're normal and we're not like crazy in here, then it's like people are like, wow, my bad, I didn't mean to come in and troll you guys. Actually, I'm having a good time here. I'm going to hang out here for a while. Because they just see that we're not like that. There's no judgment. We don't fight them. They come in, they do it. Some people come and they go, they do it, they go, but we love all here, man. And it's helping me grow. See, Jesus losing temper, I would have to think on that. Yeah, even when because people use the talk about when Jesus flipped the tables. Jesus did that in out of that same thing, out of discernment to show a message. He didn't do it out of anger. He was never mad, but you have to be able to relay a message sometimes, and that was proving something at the time, which we go into that specific thing deeper. But um, yeah, it wasn't out of that same kind of anger. It was out of that. It's called righteous anger, which is that discernment of evil in real time. So, see, Jamie says he lost his temper in the temple for sure. He turned over to yep, okay. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. Jamie said, but Jesus is God, so I can't compare humans to him. Oh, that's very interesting. You think Jesus is God? Let me ask you something, Jamie. If Jesus is God, then when Jesus was on the cross and he said, Father, why have you forsaken me? Who was he talking to? Just out of curiosity. Was he talking to himself? Brandon says, this is nice. I feel like I'm learning here. I'm a Christian, of course, and in the UK, we have dark times. If only we all could have this time to talk and learn and understand. Well, brother, this is what I do every night here, and this is why we do it. Exactly this reason. So I do this pretty much every single night except for Sunday. Now, I'm not saying that I won't miss a night, um, but Sundays I don't do it because we have regular fellowship that we go to. I go to it's Bond. You guys check it out on YouTube. We just watch on YouTube, and it's called Bond, and it's at 11 a.m. Pacific time, but mine is 1 Central. I'm in Central time, so it's 1 o'clock my time. But so yeah, so we just do that fellowship on Sunday. So you guys come join us there if you want. But other than that, we do this every night, and you guys are more than welcome to be here every single night. So, thank you, Jamie. But again, no, you're fine, Brandon. This is perfect, brother. And you're very welcome. We'll check the site out. Yeah, for sure. Sorry, I may be way behind, guys, on messages here. I like to talk to you guys, so I don't rush through these messages. If I am, just bear with me. I'll get to your messages like our friend Labola here. Brandon, jump on in. Yep, that's why we do it, to discuss it. Labola's in the house. Hey, guys, what's the biblical question tonight? Tonight we're talking about why do you get angry, Labola? This is amazing, isn't it, brother? Why do we get angry? Although I don't mean we. Why do you get angry? is the actual question. So, Brandon, can I ask a rather difficult question? I don't even know how to word this question without being incredibly impolite. Yes, of course, dude. This is the place for asking questions. 100%. Don't worry about politeness. Just ask it, and then whatever comes of it, we'll figure it out, dude. Nothing to worry about. Let's see, Labola. What is anger and is it real? Yep, Jamie nailed it. Labola will have a very, very deep insight on this. I guarantee it. Jamie says, Brandon, yep, you can ask anything. That's right. This is open forum, brother. Oh, I'm caught up on messages here. Cool. Brandon says, I don't even know how to word the question. Is essentially, in my country, it seems we are almost in a battle between two specific religions, Christians and Muslims. I don't want to offend anybody. You can't offend anybody here, man. If you offend somebody here, Brandon, it's in them, man. That's not in you. Don't worry about offending people here. If they're offended, it's in them, man. See, Jimmy, Father, why have you forsaken me is a call back to Psalms to show prophecy has been fulfilled. I can get the verse if you like. If you want, you can get it and read it to me. But who was he? But I know what you're saying, but who was he talking to? That's what I want to know, who he was talking to. And I can go through several. I mean, we can go obviously, and this is why it's so difficult for anybody to argue back and forth the points of the Bible. But I will say the points that I make in the Bible when I speak of Jesus, if he's God or not, because although I know the Spirit of God worked through Jesus, I don't, Jesus wasn't God. Jesus was the Son of God. And that's why he's separate. And that's why the Holy Spirit is the teaching of God that's within us, but they're not God. Otherwise, they would just be God. I mean, they wouldn't have separated them out. But um, just like they, pretty much everything that anyone has ever told me from the Bible when we talk about this stuff, and they give me a reason that Jesus is God, it's always either someone else said it or it's an interpretation of something that is being said, but never once is it Jesus saying, I am God. And it's never God saying Jesus is God. And it's never God saying the Holy Spirit is God. But it's an interpretation that, like, for instance, when they say, I am, and then they say, well, God said I am, and then Jesus said I am 8 times, and then that means I am God. Well, he didn't say I am God, is all I'm saying. But when I asked the question, when Jesus said, Father, why have you forsaken me? Those things that I'm asking are, they are directly what he said. I never try and make it into interpretation about it because I use I mean, if he, just like with the wording, I would say that he meant exactly what he said. And if he meant that he was God, he would have said, hey guys, I'm God, especially with as much as he talked about it. Now, I get though that other people, you guys are going to say, oh, it's in the Bible. Here, look at this verse. John said this and Peter said this. I get that other people called him God. You guys definitely don't, I'm not going to even argue that for 1 second. I know many, many people called him God. So there's no doubt about that for sure. But for instance, John 20:17, do not cling to me. I'm ascending to my Father and yours. Who's his father that he's ascending to? I mean, these are, and like I said, this is the word of Jesus. It would just, I don't know. I don't see him saying I'm God when he says I'm ascending to my Father. So anyway, all those things. And this is why, like I said, it's so much into interpretation for people. I try and stick to as like exactly what's said and not interpret things other than that, but other people take it different ways. All right, let's see what's going on. What I miss? What I miss? What I miss? It says Brandon, that's a battle even here. Uh, and yeah, so in that way, Brandon, this is why I don't get into religion, man. Religion is they build it up to where it's people fighting. Religion's two devils fighting anymore, man. Religion is they judge, they hate. Christians hate the Muslims, Muslims hate the Christians, everybody's hating each other. None of that's of God. God doesn't care about any of that, man. But it's exactly why I don't get into religion because of that reason right there. I follow the teachings of Christ. Christ says to love all, put God above everything else, love God with all your heart, soul, and might, and put nothing else above him, and then love your neighbor like you love yourself with God's perfect love, not human love, but love, which means no hate whatsoever at all for nobody, not one person. And that's it. If you don't worry about the rest, man, you can have perfect peace, but you can't get it from what other people say that it is in that way, from religion and stuff like that. You can have perfect peace and then get into religion and be just fine. And you may find perfect peace in religion. It didn't work for me, and there's so much hate. I don't see how it's possible. So no reason for me to lie about it. See, Jimmy says, Father, why have you forsaken me? Is a callback to Psalms to show prophecy has been fulfilled. Oh, wait. Did I already? Oh, yeah, yeah. I already read that. Okay. Thank you, brother. Let's see. Yep. No offending us here. Let's see. Kai says, can you please just shout out my name? Is Harley? Hey, Harley, what's going on? Absolutely. It says Kylie Sullivan, but I'll call you Harley if that's what you want. Harley. Thank you. Believe in Jesus and all your Holt. I'm not sure about that, but thank you. Appreciate it. Brandon says, Jamie, are you US also? It's difficult to ask this question here. Um, I do understand what you're saying over there, man. They're big about not wanting you to talk about anything that could be deemed as hateful or anything. But I think what you're talking about is love, man. How is seeing what's wrong with somebody and what's going on? How is that hate? How is discerning evil in a moment hate? It's just that they try and control, your mind there in that way. But in fact, that would be love, right? If you are discerning evil and you don't hate them for it, but you see it and you call it for what it is, that's perfect love, man. That is 100% God's love, brother. Labola says people have anger because they're protecting the ego and not you. Absolutely. That's what we were just talking about earlier. I was just saying that, Labola, that people will justify the anger with saying how, um, you know, uh, I'm better when I'm angry, or I do something better when I'm angry, or look, they'll say it so that way that when it does happen, they don't actually have to see that overcoming the anger with. And again, we were talking about spiritually though, Labola. I don't know about, if a guy gets mad and he's better at playing football, and when he's angry, and if that's what he wants to do and he wants to put his spirit there, then that's up to them, right? I can't answer for that. All I'm saying is in the spiritual world. Brand says it's hard to imagine you have this same debate there between religions. Oh, we do. Oh, we definitely have the same debate here between religions. It's just that um, they aren't quite to the same level of trying to turn everything into hate speech, where we can still have some open discussion about this stuff. But if they try and turn everything into hate speech, then they'll kill it here too, man. That's a culture thing. That's an evil that's coming too. That's a totally separate side of evil that's coming. Is if they can't get you to hate each other, they'll silence you so you can't tell the truth. So then the truth will be, will be lost, and then all you'll have is lies and hate at the end of it. So that's all evil, though, man. All that trying to control your thoughts and all that, that is evil. Uh, as if it's a debate. Forgive my wording. The battle said so complicated. Yeah, the battles of good and evil. It doesn't matter what religion, it doesn't matter what they're doing. There's only one battle, the battle of good versus evil. It is not a battle of flesh and blood, but it's a battle of spirits. Sooner people see it, the sooner they'll get over that. Stop hating each other. Who cares what somebody else is doing if you're doing right? Why in the world would I be worried about what somebody else is doing if I'm doing everything right? God's I'm on the path. You know, I'm reborn in the spirit of the Father. Why am I worried about anybody else? You guys come in here like this to me. We talk about the truth, but if you guys don't take it, you think I'm going to go chasing you down, begging you to change your ways? Man, you just got to forget about it. You can only work on what's inside of you. You can't fix other people, that's for sure. And the more you think, the more you worry about, the more you're going to build yourself up and get angry about it. And there's nothing you can do about it, you guys. You just totally have to drop it, not even think about it. So Jesus said before Abraham was I am, how could he exist before being born if not God? He's talking about the spirit that lived inside of him, Jamie. He wasn't talking about himself, but God that is the spirit that works through him. Just like John 7:16 says, my teaching is not mine, but his. It wasn't him. He's he is the Son of God sent to do the deal. He's not God, but he does have that spirit in him. He knew from the very beginning that his spirit was the same as his father's, God, 100%. But yeah, John 7:16, my teachings is not mine, but his. You see what I'm saying? I mean, we just go back and forth and back and forth. How could we ever think for 1 second that we know for sure that he is God if he didn't say it when he clearly says so many times that he's not? I don't get it, man. But I do understand what you're saying because a lot of people, I mean, that's like a very common teaching. But it's just the same as the Trinity. People talk about the Trinity, but the Trinity is never mentioned in the Bible. There's no word Trinity in the Bible. Like people worship the Trinity like it was straight from the mouth of God. Like he said Trinity to him. See, Kent, what's going on? You are close, but not there. Jesus said he and the Father are one. Yeah, spiritually. Let's see. Oh, how about John 14:28? If I'm close, maybe this will get me even a little bit closer. If you love me, you are glad I'm going to the Father, for the Father is greater than I. Hmm, interesting, right? Jesus said the Father was greater than him. If he is God, how is the Father greater than him? This is good stuff, you guys. This isn't even is Jesus God, though, fellowship, guys, just so you know. That's going to be a totally different fellowship. We are 100% going to have a fellowship. Is Jesus God? But this isn't it, guys, just so you know. And I don't mind discussing this, but just to be clear, this is about why we get angry. Why do you get angry? Is the topic for tonight. But I don't mind talking about it. I'm just letting you know that we will definitely have a fellowship. So be ready if we get into this for a long period of time. This will be happening again at some point, and we will get real deep into this. So, but thank you, Kent. I appreciate it, man. I'm getting closer every day, huh, brother? Jamie says we more discuss than debate, Brandon. We can agree to disagree and move on. That's right, 100%. There's absolutely no matter what. I promise you this. I love all you guys, no matter what. That wouldn't matter at all. I can't. I just point you back to the Father, and then that's up to you. That's between you and Him. Other than that, I love each and every one of you. I'm so glad you see this. I would love you all. Bye, man. Brandon, part of the family, brother. It's what we do. Says we love you too, Brandon. We absolutely do. No open discussion allowed here, unfortunately. Yep. Well, you're here with us, brother. I won't tell on you. James says, Brandon, what does no open discussion say to you? Yep, exactly. Keith, what's up, Keith? Brandon says, to me, it shows evil to try and silence those without discussing or even allowing them. Here, you cannot talk about certain religions, even if it's true, right, Brandon? Even if what you're saying is true about it, you can't talk about it. That's when you know it's the devil. If you can't speak the truth, it's 100% from evil, without a doubt. Caleb, what's up, buddy? Welcome. How you doing? I hope you're having a good night. And says there is no open discussion allowed here. Oh yeah, yeah. Where you're at. I thought you meant in the chat. I'm like, no, no, we're definitely no, but you mean where you live. Okay, gotcha. Jenny says, right, Brandon. Why do you think that is? Yeah, yeah. I will have to think on Jesus being God. You make very, very valid points. I don't know. That's all, Jamie. The only reason we do this fellowship, the same thing for me, I always have to go. I actually went and did this research because you guys come in and talk about this so often about Jesus being God. I didn't want to sound ignorant because I'm always saying that I don't see that, but I never have the biblical, information. Well, I went and did my research on at least enough that I feel comfortable with what I'm talking about. And that is what we do here, Jamie. It's just so we can look inward and then you can discuss it with God. Don't believe me for sure. Do not take me at my word. But if you feel something inside, let that sit. God will reveal you the truth. And then you'll come back and you'll say, well, thank you very much. Whether you agree with me or not, you'll see that the looking inward was the right thing to do. It doesn't even matter if the answer that comes out changes or it stays the same, brother. It's just the fact that you took that moment to look inward. And even Michael was here a couple weeks ago or a week ago or whatever. We were talking about this. And then we had this discussion just like this. And Michael was just very certain that, Jesus is God. And I understand. I know I get it because, I know how the Christians and the religious side of it and how serious they get about that Jesus is God thing. So But afterwards, he messaged me on one of the comments, and what he said was very deep, I think. And he took the time to look at what he was saying and realize he made it seem like, and he just clarified, he didn't change his stance, but he just clarified that he doesn't worship the flesh of Jesus, not the human part of Jesus, but the divine part of Jesus, which is exactly what I talk about, which is that spirit that was within Jesus, which was the Father, which is God, is the spirit that Jesus had within. But it's the same spirit that we have within us. It's just that Jesus wasn't given free will, so he knew he had the spirit the whole time. It's the only difference. Jesus, we are brothers and sisters of Jesus Christ. We are his brothers and sisters, those that are overcoming. And uh, anyway, so yeah, I don't know, I lost track there. So here we go. Back to chat. Oh yeah. So anyway, but Michael, so he said that he doesn't worship the human side of Jesus, that he worshiped the divine part of Jesus. And to me, that says the spirit that's within him, and he's right about that. And I didn't even argue. I didn't want to argue with him at all anymore about it because I don't like to argue. It's just two devils fighting. But man, just the fact that he even took the time to look inward, being as he's such a strong Christian and it's got such a strong faith, and he's so scripturally knowledgeable. I mean, he can spit out so much scripture, right? And he's just so deep into it. But then he even knows to take that moment to look within to be like, okay, wait a minute, maybe I need to see that what I'm saying, I understand what I'm saying as well in that moment. So, man, that was deep. And you guys know Michael Knight, man, it was so amazing. I told him, I was like, man, just the fact that you even stop for a second to look inward, it's just so deep. A true son of God. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Jamie, I understand what you're saying, brother. We always need to reflect inwards. Brent says, why do you think that is, Jamie? I think the narrative has changed here. We are not predominant Christian country anymore as times change, of course. Yeah. Yeah, that's unfortunate, man, what's going on there. That is very unfortunate, brother. As you hear, Brandon, my thinking is no open discussion is to keep you from the truth for sure. 100%. Wicked says, hey, you remember me? My name in here is a little different. The numbers are different, but last time we spoke, you really touched me. Oh, yeah. I think I remember Wicked, but again, I wouldn't remember the numbers or anything like that. But I definitely remember a Wicked being here. If you were still had the name Wicked, then yeah, for sure. And I appreciate it, man. Very kind words. And welcome back. Brendan says, absolutely. I'll say a fact now. We have a Christian monarchy. They tell us we have a lot to learn from Islam and their faith. That is, this is all madness to me, but I can't even explain this without offending. Yeah, oof, that's no good, man. You know what? Here's the thing, Brandon. Just don't even think about it, man. It doesn't matter what they think or how they feel. Just do what's right. You know, Speak God within yourself. Uh, be born again of the Spirit of the Father, and don't worry about what anybody else says. Don't worry about them. Don't talk about it. Don't think about it. Don't get into it. Stay out of it completely and just do you, brother. It'll do you a world of good. This world is confusing. They're doing a good job of division. Yep, exactly. That's why you can't look outward, man. Only inward, you guys. This is so important. And this is great that we're talking about this, Brandon. Looking inward is so important, man. You guys stop looking outward into the world and you'll stop seeing all that out there. Start looking inward inside yourself and you'll just work on you. And then it'll just be just between you and God. And then when you do have that, when God it brings you out of that darkness of the world, then you'll look at the world and you'll say, man, I don't care about any of this anymore. I don't even understand why I was so upset about any of it. There's no point in being upset. It does nothing for the world. It does nothing except keep you from God being upset. Jamie said, explain with what you think is offending. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Hammer us with everything you got. You cannot offend us. He says, you can tell me Jesus is the flying spaghetti monster and it won't. Yep, me too, brother. Yep. Jamie, and that's so deep, man. Once you have the truth like that, nothing can offend you anymore. Once you know the truth within yourself, don't matter what anybody says, man. It's so nice. It's amazing. Brandon, well, you can criticize Christianity. Oh, you can criticize Christianity, but not Islam. Yep, you'll be arrested. Same if you criticize the Jewish religion. Why are you doing this? Um, yeah, I mean, it's clear why the Christians are the most persecuted religion on the planet. There's a reason for it. Um, I think that one of the main reasons is because evil knows that if they can control Christianity, they can keep you from understanding the truth. And it's not even about the other religions. It's not about Judaism or Islam or whatever, right? It's not about those things, but it's about controlling Christians and the knowledge of what Jesus Christ did for them. So that's it. It's just evil working at its finest. Wicked says we met on Grinder. You're 14. Amazing, brother. You still grinding or what? You boys grinding? Let's see. Mr. Spade says, howdy, howdy. Just passing through. Well, welcome, brother. If you want to talk about what we're talking about here, we're just asking, why do you get angry, man? So if you want to put in your 2 cents, obviously Wicked is angry at me because I haven't got back to him since our last encounter on Grinder. So Wicked, tell us why you're angry about it. Jamie says, watch this. Just sit and listen. How he handles this troll. All right. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Jamie. Brandon, I'm only sad there is even a troll. You guys are amazing. I don't know. Wicked, me and Wicked, man. He's cool. He's a good guy. I love Wicked. We love this guy. Jamie says, this will show you don't worry about offending here. That's right. Wicked could not offend me. There's no way you could offend me. Bypass it. Ignore. I don't even ignore it, man. I want him to know that he's welcome here too. Wicked is welcome here, man. You guys, whatever Wicked is doing, I can tell you this, man. Of all the places he could be, he strolled in here with us, you guys, in this moment. So we don't know how God works, man. But usually we miss the moment, but sometimes we don't. Wicked may find that moment right here in this little bit of conversation that we're having around it. You never know what can happen, you guys. And that's why I never say, we don't kick people out. We don't give people a hard time. We love all, man. So it's all good, Wicked. We love you, brother. No worries, man. But yeah, that's how I don't get angry. That's why I don't get angry about that stuff either. What would be the point, you guys? And this is why we're talking about this stuff right now. What would be the point of getting angry about any of that? He's if you see once you see that he's searching for that same thing, it's just like everybody else. I would never get mad at anybody for that, man. And besides that, he's in the number one place he could be to have a chance to overcome that spirit. If he ever had a chance, Lord, now is the chance. So God bless you, Wicked. You're always welcome here, brother. That's right. Wicked's in the right place. Heck yeah, Brandon. See what a place to be. Your class, all of you. I think we're all in the right place. You sure are, Brandon. Amazing, you guys. That's beautiful stuff. Well, I really appreciate you guys are very kind. But it is truly, it's not even me, but it is the Father who works through me as he worked through Jesus. Um, he works through me the same way. He showed me perfect love, and in turn, he showed me how to love perfectly, you guys. It's just that simple. Nothing else to it. Jamie says, Jesus came for the sick, not the righteous. Absolutely, brother. He says, so do you think random trolling on the internet is an evil thing? I think that the people are consumed by the same spirit, Wicked. I think it's a spirit that lives inside of all of us, inside our heads, that Satan lives inside our heads. And we're just tricked by it. Um, I don't think that it's an evil intention. Most people don't have the intention of that because they don't know that that's what's happening. So since most people don't see that it's Satan that's even telling them to do that kind of stuff, then how could they ever overcome it, or how could it have a bad intention? That's just like the same thing as when I talked about my mom putting that spirit of evil inside of me. It's not because she had bad intentions, but it's because of how evil works. It works through not even knowing. The less you know that it's happening, the better it is for evil. So, and it's not indirect like that, but yeah, that's how the spirit works in all of our heads, Wicked. So, and that's why I don't judge because of it, because just like Jesus said, forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. It's not like I don't think you came on the internet and said, I'm going to be evil, so I'm going to go and troll people. I don't think that at all. Definitely not. But I think that it's that spirit that tricks you. And it's like, oh, I'm going to be, watch this. I'm going to be funny, or I'm going to go in here and give these guys a hard time, and it's going to be funny. And I'm going to feel better about myself because of it. And that's the trick that Satan does to us in our minds. He wants you to think that you'll feel better at the end of the day, but instead you just still, you still have that same emptiness, loneliness, depression, sadness, guilt, loss, lust, grief, all those things, brother. And so, if you want to, I mean, you showed up here, you showed up in the right place, you can overcome all that and you can see what's going on up in there. And then you can never have an issue with it again. But yeah, so I hope that explained what you're talking about there. Let's see, Jimmy. It's a spiritually hindering thing. Yeah. It says it's you to give yourself the props, at least inside, while God may work through you. You are still here and you made this decision to be here. Yeah, absolutely. I gave completely up to God. I gave everything that I thought I knew up, and I'm guided by Him now. I don't think that I'm in control of anything anymore. But in that way, you're right. I'm willing to put in whatever work, but I'm willing to give Him the credit for it. I'll put in all the work, but I want none of the credit, you guys, 100%. Let's see. Link says, I can't agree with you more. Oh, nice. Amazing. Thank you, Links. I think that's how you pronounce that. But thank you, brother. Brian, what's up, Brian? Welcome, buddy. How you doing, brother? Hope you're having a great night. James says, I think we should immediately stop and pray for those type of comments and plant a seed or see God work. Okay, amazing, brother. You want to stop and pray right now? Go ahead. I'm not sure exactly what you want me to pray for, but I will just say that, how about this? God, give us the strength to overcome everything that's put in front of us, and your will be done, whatever that may be. Amen. Is that good enough for you guys? I hope that was okay for you guys. Wicked says it's not really a bad intention. It's just cutting up, like me and my guys out in the shop that work with me. We say worse things to each other, but we would also help one another as much as we can. That's right, Wicked. And that's why I don't judge those situations, man. That's why I didn't judge you for coming in and doing it. That's why I loved you perfectly. Whatever it is you got that you're dealing with, that's between you and God. I'm only here to, if you are searching for, what's going on inside of you, I point you back to the Father. But other than that, it's all good, brother. No worries. And it says that's banter. Yeah, yeah, banter back and forth. Jamie says, I got kicked off a pastor's page yesterday for defending a guy asking questions because they called him evil and foolish. Well, that won't happen here, brother. I can tell you that. So Wicked says, oh, I had one kick me off because of my name. How silly is that, you guys? What about, I get people all the coming here all the time. Their name is like Christ and God. But if the intention's good, right? But I have to call them that. I have to say, like, I'm calling people Christ, I'm calling people God. That's so weird. But thank goodness it doesn't get to me, because I don't care about that. Because God don't care about it. And so I don't care about it either, man. Don't worry about that stuff. But yeah, it is weird though. It's definitely just a weird feeling to call somebody else something like God when I'm talking to them. It's a weird feeling. Well, let's see. Brandon says, in England, for a friend, you insult them as a greeting. Yeah, I think that's everywhere. That's just culture altogether, man. It's so much fun as kids, Well, you can't do it anymore. But we would just call each other like, the F word, immediately and stuff, like very first thing, stuff like that. But it was in good, it wasn't out of hate. It was out of love, you guys. That's the difference. I think you guys should know God's about the intent. He doesn't care about the word, he cares about the intent. You can say every cuss word in the world, God would not care one bit. But if your intent is bad in your heart, he'll know it instantly before you even say the word. You wouldn't have to say the cuss word. He already knew the intent in your heart. Yep, Wicked. And I get it. I've been watching some other ministries, and this is pretty sad, actually. It's not really sad. I shouldn't even say that. It's so dumb when I say stuff like that. It's sad. It's not sad, but it's just unfortunate that this kind of stuff happens. But someone came into this ministry guy's channel, and they called him like a knucklehead or something. They're like, this guy's a knucklehead or whatever. And the guy I thought at first he was going to play it off. He kind of laughed a little bit. He's like, oh, I'm a knucklehead, huh? And he was like, yeah, I'm a knucklehead, from back in the day or whatever. And he's like, but but you call me anything else and you'll be out of here. He starts threatening the guy that he's going to kick him out of the thing. And the guy just simply said, I think you should be a little more humble. Now, I don't know. I can't imagine what's inside of people, how that someone saying that you should be more humble to somebody, it couldn't be a bad thing, right? no matter what, can't we always be more humble? And or at least think about it, right? There's no reason that we couldn't think about being more humble. But he immediately kicked him out of the chat. And I thought, man, what if that guy was going to overcome in the next, 10 minutes in there with you? And that you could have changed that man's heart and not just kicked him out or pushed him away, but you could have truly changed his heart, or he could have changed. It wouldn't have been you, it would have been God working through you. But nevertheless, he could have had a moment. He could have had that realization and come to God, and he took that away from him, man. And I can tell you that I will never want to be that. And if that means I will never be like and I don't even want to, like people say like preaching and stuff. That's not me, you guys. I'm not like that. I'm not a preacher. I'm not I'm not in that way. I'm just a truth teller, you guys. I'm just here to tell you the truth because I know what worked for me, and I just want you guys to have that same opportunity. And I think whenever you take somebody's opportunity like that, if they don't take it, that's on them, right? He can leave, but man, to kick him out of there, that's a shame, you guys. I don't know. I don't see that as love. So I couldn't agree with it, so I left. Let's see. Brandon says, "Oh yeah, yep, okay." So blah, welcome. Proverbs 31:10. Who can find a virtuous and capable wife? Proverbs 4:13. I'm sorry, Proverbs 4:23. Guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. Wow, that's deep, brother. That's very deep. Blah. Who can find a virtuous and capable wife? Man, thank you. Very deep. Oh, Andres, welcome, buddy. How you doing? I hope you're having a good night. I started to follow Christianity because I think it's the only one that doesn't have other requirements. I actually came from self-improvement psychology and avoiding ego and selfishness. Yeah, amazing, brother. Ego and selfishness are the downfall of Christianity, by the way. So if you have those, you definitely cannot be a Christian. So you have to drop those. But you got to, the only thing is sometimes if you get into the religious side of it, Andres, obviously they might tell you that you have these stipulations that you have to do, but God ain't gonna tell you that. God's ready to bring you home right now, just like you are, exactly how you are, with all your worries and your depressions and your anxieties and your fears. He wants you to bring it all to him. He doesn't want you to go and try and change yourself and then come to him. He wants you to come just like you are. I was just avoiding anything motivated by money or pride. I didn't even know about being saved. I just didn't believe in rituals or offerings. Nice, man. See, that's the Holy Spirit inside of you guys. You get that, you know these things without even having to be told. And then when you learn that something's out there that connects with that, that's God just, solidifying that inside you. That's that revelation. That's that moment. So that's beautiful. It happens the other way too. You could also read a passage from the Bible. Don't think about it though. Sit back, and then 2 weeks later, next thing you know, God will reveal to you what that passage means. Revelation happens that way too, in that same way. So amazing, you guys. Amen. Oh, nice, Jamie. Okay, talking about the prayer. Nice, brother. Thank you. Last is Proverbs 31:10. Oh, wait, I think I read that. Okay. Yep, I read that. I read that. Wicked. Like one random guy stream, I made a comment I found funny. He found it funny, laughed, and I ended up subbing to him because we ended up chatting on here for like an hour. Brother, Wicked, I can tell you it happens here all the time, man. I don't know if you're gonna you can sub if you want to. You can come hang out. You're always welcome here. But I can tell you that exact thing that you're talking about, so many people have come in with that exact same attitude, and just seeing that we're just normal people here. It's just that, we talk about God, we just fellowship. It's no big deal, and they end up hanging out and talking with us, and they've come back over and over again. So many people, they're still coming in here. They still come and hang out with us. It's absolutely amazing and beautiful. So just have no expectation of people. You never know how that person, what they need in that moment, or what can change them, or how God's going to work through them. So we want to give you guys the opportunity. Brian says I downloaded GTA 5. Nice, brother. We'll have to get on and play. I'll definitely get on there and play with you. For instance, yes, exactly. Here it's culture. You are more rude to the ones you love dearest. Yeah. It may seem odd, but I'm glad you understand perfectly. Absolutely. We used to do that all the time when we were young. Not so much as we're older now, except for my very close friends, like my real old close friends that we were friends with when we were kids. I still do that kind of stuff with. New friends, though, I can't do that with, man. People are so touchy nowadays. Let's see. Sojo says the Bible explicitly advises against harsh, corrupt, or foul language, urging believers to use speech that is encouraging, gracious, and uplifting. Well, I agree with what you're saying, Sojo, but it's in the intent, it's in the spirit. Um, the Bible, it says a lot in that way. Um, but trust in God knows what's in your heart. Don't worry about that stuff. And that's fine if you want to fall in that, you want to have, I'm not saying it's don't have um, you know, a clean mouth. I'm not saying you have to go out and be foul mouthed. You don't go out and look for it. If you're truly overcoming, it's not like you're gonna go out and cuss all the time. But if you say a cuss word, if you hold it against yourself like that, then you're judging yourself in that way. So it's fine. But I do understand what you're saying. And it is better to not swear. But in that same way, we're talking about of the spirit. So words can't affect the spirit. The spirit will only be affected by what's in your heart. And if those words affect what's in your heart, then they can do that. So, but thank you, brother. I appreciate you, Sojo. Amazing. And I agree. The Bible definitely does talk about that. Jamie says, hit that like button. Yeah, you guys double tap that screen. The more likes we get, the more people we get in here, the more fellowshipping we'll get. And yeah, the more it'll spread us, put us more in the algorithm. Yeah, we definitely appreciate it. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Jamie. Wicked says, so Wicked One is pretty obvious, but the 4355 is there from when I was much younger. It's how you would spell hell on the phone. Oh, okay, yeah. Used to do that kind of stuff too, man. I totally get it. But it's not of evil, meaning as bad as it seems. Yeah, no, I get it. I was just in a really bad time of my life and felt like I was in hell, and I felt like I was living a truly wicked life. All right, well, brother, I totally understand what you're saying, my guy. I completely understand, Wicked. I think you're probably just down on yourself in that situation, but I get it. I get where those thoughts take you, man. That's all thoughts, though, brother. It's all a thought, man. So he says, Wicked, you can change your avatar name, right? Wicked says the whole name is basically for me going through a horrible time, and it's like a badge of getting over it. See, and there's no reason to change it. And if anybody gets anything from your name or something, if anybody's offended by it, dude, it's in them. Don't worry about it at all. If it means something to you, it means something to you. It's not for anybody else. So just do you and be fine with it. And as long as you're doing right, doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about it. See, John says, if aliens come down with a copy of the Quran, should I switch sides or double down? Whew, man, that's going to be deep. I'm going to say it probably depends on the color of the alien. If it's a gray, then there you could probably work with them. But if it's like a lizard person, I would probably sway away from that. Depends on the color of the alien. So we'll see when we get to that point. Where he says, "Oh, I don't change it on purpose." Right? Yeah. So he says, "Oh, I understand perfectly. I've been around for a long time and been saved for a long time." Nice, Sojo. Amazing, brother. Brent says, "I want to be able to come here again, but unfortunately, I must go to work. I have subscribed, but when will there be another chat like this? Honestly, you have all made my morning amazing." I do this basically every single night except for Sunday. There'll be a day that I don't do it occasionally or something, whenever it comes around, but pretty much every single day of the week except for Sunday. And it usually starts about between 9 and 10 US Central Time. So whatever that is for you. Tonight we started late. Usually I start about an hour and a half earlier than what I started tonight. I was out with some friends from the channel that came through town here, and we went and had dinner. It was absolutely amazing. So we were a little late tonight. Brandon says, I appreciate it and love you all. I hope to be here again if possible. Absolutely, brother. Well, it's possible if you come. We'll be here, brother, and you're always welcome. Absolutely amazing. Thank you, and we love you too, man. I hope you have a great day. Stay present, brother. Watch your thoughts. Stay present. It's going to blow your mind what's going to come from it, man. Don't worry about what's going outside of you, man. Let it go. You'll have an amazing life, brother. And thank you for the very kind words. So just says anything that contradicts the word of God, get away from it. I don't care what color it is or how many eyeballs it has. Sojo, yeah, I can see that if it affects you in that way, you probably should get away from it. But God has shown me that I can't be affected by anything outside of me anymore. So no matter what's going on in other people or what they have going on in them, doesn't affect me. I'm not bothered by that. That's how come I can now traverse the world without having to worry about evil, getting into me or coming from somebody else into me because I'm able to discern it now. It's absolutely amazing, brother. So there's such a perfect peace in it. Now, do I want to go and search for it? Absolutely not. But whatever I have to do, I never have to fear going through the ways of the world now because God has given me that ability of having discernment. It's beautiful. Lobola says, "Is there any good in human nature?" Ooh, man, that's a deep question. No, definitely not, Lobola. Definitely not. There is zero good in human nature. Human nature is the opposite of that. Human nature is Satan's nature. There's no good in human nature. Only God's nature is good. Be of God. That's why you must be born again of the Father. If human nature was good, you wouldn't have to be born again, Lobola. That's for sure, brother. Oh, Odin, what's up, buddy? This is the dumbest time to be alive in the history of mankind. Amazing, Odin. Absolutely amazing, brother. Sojo Lobo, absolutely. You've seen it. You've seen it many times. Oh, he just said the opposite of what I said, Labola. Labola's going to tell us what he thinks. So, the Toots, I feel the same way. I'm putting that out there for those that are weak in the faith and those that have serious questions. I agree with that, Sojo. I'm all about the truth. And so I wouldn't want to lie to people and tell them that they have to stay away from it. But the truth is, you have to do what's right for you, Sojo, right? And that what's right for you, which is between you and God, and has nothing to do with me. Um, but yeah, 100%. If you have to stay away from evil, stay away from evil, man. Do whatever you have to do to stay on that path, brother. And that's between you and God. Nobody can guide you to that. That's between you and God. Now, you can find it through God works through people, but it'll be revealed within you. It won't be from that person for sure. Let's see. Andre says, I like to come and listen, but I can't commit too much time. I have to work as much as possible to pay off school debts. I'll go back and try to listen to old videos if I can. Of course, Andres. Dude, brother, whatever you can do, my guy. Wicked says, I subbed and liked, by the way. Oh, thank you, brother. Amazing. I guess my Stream Elements isn't working. Usually it pops up when people sub telling me that they've subbed and stuff. I don't know why Stream Elements doesn't work sometimes. Anyway, thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. You're always welcome here, Wicked. And even if you come in, be yourself, brother. You want to come in, be goofy, say goofy stuff. It ain't no big deal, man. You will not offend anybody here. You won't upset, well, you won't upset me. I can't say anybody because I don't know who will be in the chat that night. But, brother, come in, be yourself, and you're perfect. So, and we love you just the way you are. And like I said, God's waiting for you guys to come to Him just the way you are. He doesn't want you to change to return to Him. He wants you to come just like you are in the very britches you got on. Now, Labola, are you going to tell us what you think about human nature or not? He's making me sit on it. He wants me to stew on it. Labola is very insightful, so I want to hear what he has to say about that, about human nature. And what I was saying, Sojo, is that I understand full well the Holy Spirit and discernment, and I filter everything through the Word of God. My faith cannot be shaken. Yeah, brother. Same here. We're on the same page, 100%. I have overcome that spirit, brother. So 100%. And I think, Sojo, hopefully you understand it because I know up here you said absolutely, you've seen it many times. And I just want to clarify that it wasn't the human nature that you saw, it was God's nature in a human. I I think that I made that clear with saying that before, but just in case, I didn't want you to think that I was saying that no human could display a good nature, but it would be the nature of God, not the nature of the human that would be displayed there. So, if I wasn't clear about that with Labola's question, great question, Labola. Absolutely great question, brother. So deep. And these are the kind of questions that we have to ask so that way people can look inside to see these moments like that and see that the human side is the flawed side of people. That's the side that lets Satan in. It's that spirit that lives within. It's that spirit side that is God's side that we need to seek within. We need to be one with God, just like Jesus said. I can tell you this, if I said me and the Father are one, I don't think you guys would think that I was God, right? But I can tell you this right now, me and the Father are one. How deep is that, you guys? How deep is that? How deep is that? So, do you believe the Bible is 100% accurate? Let me tell you about the Bible, brother. The Bible, which is basic instructions before leaving Earth, um, it's a testimony of man. The Bible is the testimony of men over and over again for hundreds of thousands of years, or however long the span was, Old Testament to New Testament. It's the testament of man. It's no different than the testimonies that you're getting here from me right now, that I'm testifying to, or that I have testified to in those moments. Zero difference. The testimonies of man. The only thing is, those men had God working through them. But does that mean that they were wrong sometimes? They were definitely wrong sometimes. So, is the Bible 100% accurate to a T? I mean, how could we ever know something that's been written over that period of time and has been tampered with that much by humans and has had other books or changes by other people? I don't know, man. I can't get into the Bible, and that's why. Now, if you're looking for teachings of God, you can read the Bible. God will, don't think about it too much. God will show you those. He will, through revelation, he will show you those teachings so you can understand them. But you'll see that the Bible is a tool to use for revelation. It's not a tool to be taken as accuracy. Now, in that way, though, the Bible is extremely accurate. I mean, like the names of the kings and the people and the lands and all these people that were through. It's like one of the most historically accurate books of all time in that way. But in the way of the spirit, no, I think they were wrong sometimes. They were just man, and sometimes man is wrong. So, and even I think it's even in the Bible, God said that they were wrong sometimes. God came down um, when they were doing, when they were doing something wrong and showed them that they were wrong in the moment. Sometimes they admitted to that in the Bible, I believe too. So again, I'm not too much in the Bible, so you guys would have to tell me. But let's see. So it says, I think I might have missed that part. I understand that we have a fallen nature and that we are sinful, but we are still capable of great works through the love of Jesus Christ once we come to know him. Absolutely. 100%, Sojo. That's it, man. And the human, when we're in the fallen state, that's the human nature. And then when we ascend, that's God's nature. And that's when um, we can see that perfect nature come out of people. But it's truly God's nature for sure. Let's see. For Christians, it means God's newest before we were God knew us, newest before we were formed in the womb, and we are his chosen. We are adopted children. We are blessed beyond our own understanding. Absolutely. Definitely. 100%. YouTube's blocking your comments, Labola? What? What do you mean? Ah, here we go. Human nature is of Satan. No, it was me. I had the settings on top chat instead of live chat. Sorry, Labola. I got you. I'm coming back, you guys. I'm coming back. Here we go. Here we go. Labola says human nature is of Satan. I don't know if the rest of you guys saw that. And then Labola says human nature is evil. Nice. Thank you, Labola. No, it was my fault, not YouTube this time. I do agree YouTube does that sometimes, but this time it's totally my fault. Oh, let's see. Soja says, Toots, I think since you mentioned the word grays, that you believe that the Antichrist will come to us as an alien entity while it's actually Satan masquerading. No, I don't know. Oh, no, no, I don't think that. I was just messing with that guy because he asked about aliens. Some guy came in asking about aliens. I was just goofing around, man. That's stuff that is all just, I don't know, man. I don't get it. It's stuff that someone told me about that Greys and the lizard people that someone else said to me one time. I don't get into that stuff, man. That's hilarious, though. You know what I'm saying, man? It's so crazy. But yeah, no, I don't get into any of that stuff. I do not think that the Antichrist is from aliens or from anywhere else. Um, yeah, no, none of that. I don't know if the Antichrist has come yet or not. But I just stay with God, so I don't even have to worry about it. Not to be fooled. So he said, I pondered that for a very long time, and I could go into great detail about why that would make perfect sense. is ultimate deception in people who want to believe it. Yeah. Especially when it is combined with supernatural powers. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, I was just messing with that guy though, Sojo. Yeah. I do not believe in aliens or anything like that, man. I only believe in God. I only know God. So that's what that's my belief. I always say that I always believed, right? I always believed in something more. But once I had that revelation, I stopped believing and started knowing. And since then, I couldn't have the truth taken to me ever since. Taken from me. I'm sorry, I couldn't have the truth taken from me ever since. Wicked says, I always hear the Bible, the Bible, the Bible, like it's all the answers. If I try to explain how it's been rewritten and passed down and so on for so long, I get such a defensive response. Yeah, and that's because people want to put that because people worship the Bible. Like it truly, people worship the Bible. God said to worship him. The Bible is a tool that you can use to get to God, to understand God deeper, and to have revelation. God will reveal to you through it. But do you know how many people I know that read the Bible every day and they're just as evil as can be? The Bible doesn't give you God, it's a tool. We were talking about this, Lobola. Oh, this is perfect. You guys check out my short with Lobola from the other night. If you give somebody a hammer, they can hit a nail with it, right? They can hammer a nail. But if you give somebody a hammer, they could also hit somebody over the head with it. The hammer's just the tool. It's the person that is what is uses the tool to see fit. They can find Satan. Someone can pick up the Bible and find Satan. I promise you that. Satan knows the Bible better than any human on the planet. Satan knows the ins, the outs, every single word that's written in it. Satan knows every single thing that's in there. He will use it and manipulate you through that. Find God, only God, first, then you can turn to the Bible and get understanding. But if you're searching in the Bible for God, God's within. You have to search within to find God. The Bible just is a roadmap. It's a guide to God if you understand it, but it's so difficult to understand it without God on your side because Satan will confuse the heck out of you. Let's see, Wicked says, okay, yep. Uh, of the time, and I'm not even putting it down. I'm just saying that it's not to be taken 100%. Yeah. You know what? I think God set it up to where you can take, God will give you whatever you need to take out of it, right? It's not up to me to decide what each person gets from it. Each person may get something different. But I can tell you, I don't read the Bible to take it literally. I read the Bible and God reveals to me the lesson to be learned in that moment. So Wicked says, I don't know. I would believe in aliens to a certain extent, like in the sense of there could be another place with living creatures, but not like aliens have come here and created our God complex. Yeah. I always say, Wicked, I just have a wait and see mentality. I don't like to do what ifs. So I only believe what I see in that way. And that's why I was saying I don't believe. But anything's possible, right? I just don't usually do what ifs because then what if anything, right? You could just say that with any single thing. What if we all turn into, you know, aliens ourselves and start eating people? I mean, you could just say, you know, what ifs. You could do what ifs all day. So he said, of course, this is just conjecture on my part in figuring out how Satan would deceive the world and they would worship him and he has supernatural abilities that the world would see. That's very interesting. That's very interesting, Sojo. Um, again, I don't know enough about that you know, line of thought. I haven't really heard that before. You're kind of the first one that ever put it like that. So I'll just have to sit and smoke on it a little bit. But it's very interesting, my friend. Very interesting. Let's see. And not only that, it would explain the supernatural powers of the two prophets that preached day and night in Jerusalem. Again, something I'm not too sure about. I'd have to learn more about that too as well. But thank you, Sojo. Well, this is exactly, and most pastors and super religious people just try to hit me in the head with the Bible as a hammer. Yeah. And that's why I tell you, I'm not into religion, man. I'm into pointing you back to the Father through the teachings of Jesus Christ, but I'm not into religion. I think the religion's the same way. You can go and chase religion your whole life and never know God. You'll get lots of knowledge. You'll be very knowledgeable about the Bible and you can be knowledgeable about God. You can have all kinds of knowledge, but you'll never know God. I want to know him. I don't want to know about him. I want to have a personal relationship with him. I want to know God, you guys. Let's see. So it just says, I don't believe in aliens either, but I do believe the fallen can take different human forms and change their appearances. Ah, very interesting. Very interesting. You mean the fallen as in Deceased or the fallen, as in the fallen state, Sojo? Let's see. So it says, I get a little too chatty sometimes. I don't want to. Dude, no, this is exactly what you're doing. What do you mean? This is totally fine. If anybody wants to talk about the topic tonight, we're just talking about why do you get angry. But other than that, no, you guys, this is fellowship. Talk about whatever comes to you, man. Whatever God is bringing to you to bring in here, bring it, man. That's what it's here for. The Spider says, remember to like and subscribe to help support the channel. Hey, thank you, brother. Amazing. Very kind, you guys. Wow. Thank you so much, my friend. Welcome, Spider. Yeah. No, this is very good stuff, Sojo. This is it's all good stuff. Never apologize for coming in here and speaking the truth, speaking your mind, and even other stuff. You come in here, you don't have to worry about that in here, man. Nobody has to apologize for anything in here because everybody that's in here needs to overcome these moments. And if somebody's feeling some type of way about something you're saying or doing in here, that's for them to overcome. God is giving them that in this moment to overcome that. If you're feeling, if you get mad or you're getting upset or you're getting emotional, it's that moment, you guys. God is giving you this moment right now to overcome that and see that there's no reason anybody's words in chat should ever affect you, you guys. No way. They can't affect me. I can tell you that. Since I dropped that ego, it's truly the death of the ego, you guys. You must let your ego die in order to overcome that. The ego must die. That is what being reborn is. The death of the ego is being reborn in the spirit of the Father. That's where the reborn comes from. That's why they use that term reborn, because the ego death, and you must be reborn in a new spirit, one free of the ego. So, and I can tell you that's exactly right. 100% spot on. As soon as I dropped my ego, I dropped my pride, I dropped respect, thinking that I deserve respect. I dropped expectation of others. I dropped looking outward and only started looking inward. And as soon as I did those things, man, I had perfect peace, you guys. It's absolutely beautiful. It is the most amazing thing that's ever happened to me. And if you asked me even 2 months ago, you said, Toots, well, you can call me Lucas, but Lucas, did you think that you'd be here fellowshipping every single night with people? I'd have called you crazy, man. I said, you are absolutely nuts. There's no way that's going to happen. And then, yet, look at where we are. This is wild, man. When you give in to what you think you know, the places God leads you, it's going to blow your mind, you guys. You will be blown away, but make sure you stay open to it. That's why I talk about saying yes so much, man. You guys, oh, the fallen angels. Okay, very interesting. Ah, very interesting. The fallen angels would be Lucifer and the ones he brought with him, right? And also, we know that the angels appeared in human form at Sodom and Gomorrah. Very interesting. Again, I'm not too much into the Bible, Sojo. So you're teaching me a lot here, brother. This is why I say, man, bring it all. You guys, when you come in here and you guys give me these moments, and you guys are teaching me in these moments, I always take this and just let it sit, let it marinate, and God reveals me all kinds of stuff in these moments. Let's see. How do we know that? How do we know what? I guess. And also, we know that the angels appeared. Oh. You're asking him, how do we know that the angels appeared? Right. I'm guessing he's going to say it was in the Bible that the angels appeared. And that's the knowledge that we speak of. So, and so you can take that. This is that perfect moment, Wicked. This is that perfect moment, man. You can take it and don't have a thought about it. Don't think that it is true or it isn't true, right? Have zero thought about that and just sit on it and just wait, and God will reveal it to you. If you give it to him, he'll reveal you what you need to know about it. Whether it be true or false, you won't even care about that anymore. You'll see what the intent was for you to learn the message that was within it, and you won't care if it was true or not. You won't even be thinking about if it's true. It won't matter to you anymore. You'll know about God. You'll know God. You won't have to know all that other stuff. Look, it says uh, that there were fallen angels appeared, how do we know that there wasn't a group of people portraying themselves as that? Right. So he says, I'll never preach anything against scripture or that goes against the Holy Spirit in me. If it's an opinion or an idea, always make sure to clarify that so as not to lead anyone astray. Yeah. And in that same way, Sojo, I say to each person's going to get what's going between them and God. What's between you and God, I wouldn't want to come in between that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's not for me. That's for you and for God. And whatever you see that He's revealed to you, man, amen, brother. That's for you to have. And the same goes for me over here and everybody else, man. And so again, I don't read the Bible as trying to find out the truth in or facts of what happened exactly facts. I read the Bible so God can reveal truth within to me. Jojo, you have to let go of your ego. That's right. Let go your ego. Yeah. Nice, Sojo. Amazing. Let go your ego. Very funny, brother. So yeah, Wicked. That's right. And that's so deep, Wicked, that you talk about this because um, just like you say, if you were to go to church and you were to say, "Well, I don't believe that in the Bible," I mean, they would ostracize you, man. You'd be kicked out of there if you said you didn't believe something that was written in the Bible. You don't have to believe it. Just don't not believe it and let God reveal the truth to you. You don't have to sit there. That's another thought. The thought that we have to read something and that we instantly have to believe it or don't have to believe it, or we have to, and if you don't know it in that instant moment that there's something wrong with you, you guys, it's okay to not know some stuff. God does not expect you to know every single thing about every single thing in the Bible or about the world. All God expects from you is that you give up thinking you know anything at all. Give up thinking completely and just give it into God. Give everything you got to God. Love Him. Put Him above all others. Love Him with all your heart, soul, and might, and put nothing else above Him. Go and forgive so you can be forgiven. He'll forgive you. And then you'll see what's going on in the world. You'll be able to discern evil and you'll have that perfect love that He gives you. You'll be able to love perfectly as well. And then, man, you won't be worried about any of that stuff anymore, and no one could ever affect you. And you wouldn't be looking for, you wouldn't even have to go to church. Once you overcome this, you don't have to go to church. You would only go to church if you wanted to. It wouldn't be a spiritual thing. You wouldn't be going to church because you think it's your only connection with God. You have your connection with God. So now you can go to church. So it's just that church doesn't want you to think that. They want you to think that you have to have them to get to God. And that's so wrong. It's so wrong to do to people. I'll never do that to anybody. I'll never tell you that you have to have something. In fact, this is great. I'll go ahead and testify, you guys, since we're talking about this. I'll give you my testimony of what happened to me. Uh, it's very personal, it's very deep. So, one day I was on here fellowshipping yeah, in scripture. Yeah, that's what I thought he was talking about scripture for sure. But anyway, so one day I was on here fellowshipping and I was telling people, I was like, you guys, I don't read the Bible. I don't get into the Bible. The Bible isn't where I get my knowledge from. I get my knowledge from God through revelation. He teaches me the things I need to know. It may come from through man, though. I mean, other men, God works through other people. God works through people to me. That's how God works. God can work through the rustling of leaves to me to reveal. I don't, I just listen. I just stay present so that way I'm ready to interpret whatever God's given me. So anyway, so I'm telling everybody in chat that, I'm not into the Bible or religion. And man, they're really jamming me up. They're you can't know God if you don't read the Bible. You not, you're not this, you're not that, right? Just the whole nine yards. So I don't listen to it though. I don't care what people say. It hasn't bothered me ever since I overcame that spirit. It has not bothered me one bit. But for some reason, God still had something to show me in that moment. So that next day, I was watching a little video and I was watching the people in it. And I was thinking, man, this guy's like, he's really being a father to these guys. He's like, he's telling the truth. He's showing them perfect love. He's not pulling punches. He's telling them the truth. So he's hurting their feelings, but it's in a perfect way where they need it to be able to see to overcome these moments. And I was like, man, I wrote it down because I want to make sure I remember. I said the most important sheep to the shepherd is the one who strays. Those kids that were lost, it was more important that he talked to them than going and talking to like a church of people that are, that think they know that. He's talking to these two kids who had nothing to do with religion, were so far away from it. They were so much more important for him to talk to. So anyway, I saw that. The most important sheep to the shepherd is the one who strays. Well, it hit me so deep. I just felt something. I'm almost like, man, that's so deep. And so I looked it up, and sure enough, Matthew 18, 12 through 14, and Luke 15, 1 through 7, summarized, basically say God's greatest joy is in rescuing the one who has gone astray. Now, I don't know. I don't know why God revealed to me that in that moment. But if you're telling me that I can't have the exact same teachings of the Bible revealed to me from within, it's right there, man. It happened to me. It happened. I wrote it down right here. My testimony, my revelation that happened. You guys, every teaching that's in there is within you. That's the Holy Spirit. It is 100% the Holy Spirit that's within. And God showed me in that moment. Dude, he said, Lucas, he said, watch this. I'm going to show you, I'm going to give you that one more little nudge to make sure that you have no doubt. Not that I ever doubted. I never even doubted it. I knew that that was the truth. I never doubted. I never swayed from it. And yet God still chose to reveal this to me. So I don't know, you guys. It was deep. It was so deep I wept. I'm not emotional. I don't get emotional. I stay out of emotion. But whatever that moment was, the tears welled up and they came out of me. I didn't fight it. I just went through that too. I didn't sit there and sob and whine and cry about it, but there was no reason to stop it from happening. Whatever God revealed to me in that moment, it needed to happen. So I let that happen to you guys. It was absolutely beautiful. Let's see. So just says the scripture tells us of right what happened. And then Wicked says, my daughter's dinosaur book says a T-Rex told a Triceratops to have a good night in English. And I don't say that to make a mockery of anything. It's just that I don't believe that that's actually how that happened. Okay. Amazing. And again, that's the beauty that God gave us, that God gave you this life. And in that, he gave you that choice, man, to figure it out for what's right for you and return to God. If you're overcoming evil, Wicked, and you're on that path and you're getting, you're being born of the Spirit of the Father again, don't matter what the Bible says, dude. Don't even have to think about it. Don't look at it. Don't read it. Once you overcome and you have done that, you'll see that the Bible will be revealed to you in a totally different way, man. It's completely different. So, but I do get what you're saying. And actually, Wicked, I had that same thought process my whole life, man. I thought it was all just completely fake and wasn't real, and I wasn't into it. And then I realized that it's not made to be used like that. It's made as a tool for revelation. And it's not about whether or not, and if you go into that where you're going to start breaking down if every single word of the Bible is 100% true or 100% false or this and that, you go away from God when you do that, man. You just run right away from him. He don't want you doing that. He just wants you to be able to read it and get the lesson from it, but not worship it, not live by the every single word of the Bible, holding on to every single word all the time. He wants you to read it and just let it come in and out. Let that moment happen. Read it. It goes in, it goes out, and then you just take in the revelations that God gives you. Oh, let's see. Sojo said, God meets people at their own level. Absolutely. We are all different levels. I understand. Yep, 100%. So that's right. That's so true, man. God meets people at their level. God will meet you wherever you're at. For sure. Definitely. You're so right, Sojo. You could be the holiest man on the planet. You could be the Pope, or you could be a bum drug addict on the street, and God will come to both of you in your own ways, whatever needs to happen. Sojo, that's so deep. Thank you very much, brother. That is so, so deep. Wicked says, again, I think the Bible is great, but I don't think you should believe that exact type of thing. So literally, aliens would be easier to believe. Yeah, in that way, the Wicked, that's why it's called faith. It truly is. The Bible is about faith. God's about faith. God surely isn't about giving you proof. That's very deep too, Wicked. Faith is about not having proof, but knowing that God will give you the truth inside, though. Don't just take it from a man, though, Wicked. Do not just believe what somebody else is telling you. Otherwise, you will end up falling to that mentality for sure. You're right about that. Seek within yourself, and you shall find. Seek within, and God shall reveal. So it just says, I highly encourage you to read the Bible because the Holy Spirit will reveal things to you from the will of God. That is why God gave us his word. I do agree with that. Every time people write scripture and stuff in here, since I have overcame, I get amazing revelation from all the scripture, and that's why I look up scripture now and I do it. But if God, if God puts me in that situation and He says just sit down and read the Bible, I'll do it. But also in this way, God's showing me in this way that I still have that same spirit, that spirit of the Father is within me, and it's not about the Bible. So anyway, I'm not against it. I may read it someday from cover to cover, uh, but for now, this is what's working for me. So we keep doing this. Wicked says, I'm not even saying it has to be untrue, but just like our current historians, especially after a few people years down the line, rewrite it, could have things written quite wrong and altered. You're 100% right, Wicked. Especially think about how evil man is. Think about the evil ways of man, and then think that the Bible would not be tampered with at all. Come on, we got to be realistic. Men are evil. Satan wants you to be confused. Satan will definitely alter the Bible because he knows that people put too much faith in the Bible. People will put more faith in the Bible than they do God. People will they'll kill you over the Bible. They don't care if you know God or not, but if you talk about the Bible bad, they will kill you over it. So it's so true, man. It is so true. I agree with both of you. I agree with Sojo. The Bible has much deep revelation in it for you to discern, and it's amazing. But I agree with you also, Wicked, that the Bible, you can't just read it as hard and fact and then go through life that way. The lessons in the Bible are deep, though, man. They are very deep. So I agree with that. Let's see. Minotaur says religion is ignorant, primitive, and detriment to freedom. Thomas Jefferson. Oh, amazing, brother. Um, that's interesting. A detriment to freedom. Yeah, truly, when you are in that trapped religion where you just buying into anything someone tells you, like that organized religion, or just not seeking the truth within, man, that really does take your freedom away, doesn't it? Boy, old Tommy J, he was a smart one. Love that man. Love you too, brother. Thank you, Minotaur. Appreciate that. Wicked, I don't think it's all fake. I just question parts of it and how people push it on to me. Yeah. I suggest stop questioning it. Just read it and let God show you. Don't even question it. Don't even think about it. And don't even, you have to get away from reading it to try and read it for true or false, and just read it for that connection with God and get away from that. I agree, Wicked, completely. But don't ask churches about it, man. They're not going to tell you that same thing, dude. They're going to tell you that if you don't read the Bible, you don't know God. And I just showed you guys you can get revelation from within. So I mean, there's no more proof, and I can't give you guys any other proof to my word. But why in the heck would I sit here and lie to you all about that? Man, that would be crazy. But I guess people do it. I don't know. That just ain't me though. Let's see. The angels coming down and taking form of humans is a great example. Yeah, I could see though how um, a revelation like that, I wouldn't judge, because if I told you how the things God revealed to me, I mean, people are going to think I'm nuts. They're going to think I'm nuts too. Oh, you know that God has told you the truth and that He came and He enlightened you and He gave you this ability to do all this. People would think I'm nuts, man. People, I'm sure you guys do. Probably some of you do think I'm nuts, but I don't judge that in that way. I just take it for what it is, because I know what He's done for me, and it is an absolute miracle what He has revealed to me. So let's see. Let's see. I believe in God 100%. Amazing. Yep. I don't not believe in the Bible. I don't not believe. Right, right. I get what you're saying, but I do believe the Bible is a great tool. Yeah. Right. You're right on, man. You've got it. And besides that, God said, don't trust any man anyway. We know that the Bible is testimony of man. Don't trust the man. Trust God, you guys. It's God that is the Bible is pointing you to anyway. Just like I'm pointing you to God, the Bible's pointing you to God. The Bible's not pointing you to the Bible. Bible's not there for you to worship, definitely. Shaw says, I can comment. Okay, comment, Shaw. Welcome. Amazing. Wicked says, and I do read my Bible. Very nice, brother. Very nice. Let's see. Shaw says, bro, you know my position. I have my own interpretation. Bible isn't the word of God. Yep, yep, amazing. Bible is full of contradictions. Yes, true. We don't know which part is true and such part ain't. I agree completely, Shaw. The early Bible given to Jesus and the Bible written by a later church are two different things, you see? I mean, this is exactly what we're talking about. This is why the truth is so important to talk about, Shaw and Wicked. And I'm sorry, I forget who else was talking. Sojo. That's why it's so important to talk about this stuff. So that way everybody has the opportunity to hear it and then discern within themselves, like God revealed to you the truth within. But look at how we get on this journey like this, and then so many like-minded people starts, seeing and understanding that same thing, and then that brings enlightenment. You guys, when we get a group like this that understand a deeper meaning of the Bible, who truly see that it's God's tool to use, but not to worship, then we start really changing, future generations. The more people we get to understand that, the more we change future generations, the more they can stop using the Bible to hate and to judge with. So much judgment comes with that, you guys. Let's see. So it says oh yeah, okay, we read that one. Like it says the early Bible said it was completely okay to stone someone till they were unalive, and it was okay, but I'm told I can't use curse words. Yeah. Right, Wicked. I get it. I totally get what you guys are saying, man. Completely understand. Shaw says resurrection accounts carry authenticity of gospels in questionable plus is questionable. Plus, they are plagiarized. Early Christians' testimony on resurrection is something else. Very interesting, Shaw. Christians are told not to keep up with the law through Jesus categorically commanded lost sheep of Israel. But Paul removed that, but he still performed the cleaning ritual. Acts 15 through 21. Okay. The bigger question is Jesus God, Father and Sons are TO are two different entities with different conscious. Son is submissive, Father is origin. Shaw. So deep, man. So deep. Amazing, brother. But we're gonna do a fellowship though. You know what? Maybe we should just do it tomorrow. Maybe we should save this and we'll just do Is Jesus God tomorrow. Then we can really hammer away on this because I'm actually about to get off here for the night. I'm super tired after all the driving and stuff I did today. Let's see. Wicked says, but it's like you said, either most churches, if you question any part of the Bible, they completely change. Oh, 100%. Yep. They are supposed to teach you. How are you going to learn if you don't question? I completely agree. So, to Mr. Toots, I have to ask this question: do you acknowledge that Jesus Christ is the Son of God and that you accept him as your person? 100%. Absolutely. Without a shadow of a doubt, Sojo. Yes, yes, yes. Jesus Christ is the Son of God. He was sent by God to fix the what happened on earth, fix the loss of the souls to Satan, all souls, and he did that, and in turn, he saved all of us, 100%, brother, 100%. I don't believe that he's God though. Just so we everybody knows that, which I'm sure you understand because we talked about that earlier. But yeah, other than that part, yes, definitely, Jesus Christ is the Son of God. Shah, as a Muslim, have reached out to many church, but they don't entertain considering me a non-Christian. That's so sad, Shah. And it's so ridiculous. If they, I mean, like with with what God has given me, I would never shun you away. It would be the only opportunity that you may have to return. You know, and I'm not saying you have to or anything, but I mean, this would be the opportunity, right, Shaw? For me to turn you away would be for me to take God away from you, man. That would be the wrong thing to do. I don't get how churches would do that. What's the point in that? Just because you question them? Why are churches so afraid to be questioned? Is it because they don't have it? That's what I think. That's what I think, to be honest with you. I think they don't have what a lot of us here have, definitely what I have, and that the truth of God, because he reveals to me. I think a lot of churches don't have it. I think they pretend they have it. They have a whole lot of knowledge about God, but I don't think they actually know the truth, unfortunately. So because I couldn't imagine turning someone away when that's the opportunity they have to overcome that too, especially if I didn't see your faith, as, the way to God. I would want to give you that opportunity. I would want to keep you here as long as I could. And if that means you question me, then I would accept that for what it was. I would want that. Besides that, if I was a preacher or pastor, I would want to be questioned. I would want to make sure that I could overcome every one of those moments too. I would never want to have a moment where I would be afraid to be questioned by somebody or where I would have to push somebody out of the church because they were questioning. What would that say about me? I don't know, you guys. That's deep stuff, Shaw. Appreciate it. Let's see, Choppy. I love God. He is the best. He has died for us. He is the best. Amazing, Choppy. Thank you, sir. Shah says, I have my faith in Jesus, but as a messenger and a predecessor of Muhammad, peace be upon both of them. Amazing, Shah. Absolutely. Thank you. So just sorry, I will be back later. My typing stinks. Okay. All right. No worries. No worries. Yeah, we're gonna go over this, you guys. We're gonna do this. I didn't know exactly when because I know it's gonna be serious, you guys. When we start talking about if Jesus is God, it's gonna get serious. There's gonna be a lot of people that they're just gonna want to argue back and forth. I'm not gonna argue with you guys. I will say what I have to say about it and we'll discuss it and I will give you the biblical verses that I feel are, showing what I know to be true. And other than that, it'll just be I'm going to step back and everybody else will be talking about it. So you guys be ready for that. I also think like there should be more inner dialogue and community meets, especially between Muslims, Christians, and Jews. We need to understand, respect, and learn to live with harmony. Yeah, I agree with that. In fact, I would just like to not even know the religion side of it and just be able to sit in fellowship. I don't care what religion you are. It's all for God, right? We're all here for God. If that's the case, I don't even want to know your religion, man. Doesn't matter to me. As long as you are saying that you are here to love God with all your heart, soul, and might and put nothing else above Him, then we're one and the same, brother. Oh, you said I can't prove anything out of the Bible. All I can do is point at the text and say it's right there. And that's usually what happens to me when I question it. Yeah. But what has been proven to me is how my quality of life has changed since I put faith into God. Wicked. That's so deep, man. That's so deep, brother. Absolutely true. Without the Bible and without religion, God completely changed my entire life, man. He changed my heart, you guys. Without the Bible and without religion, God changed my heart. Now, I will say through the teachings of Christ, though, I cannot deny that the teachings of Jesus Christ is what God changed my heart with. But He did it, man. He completely changed me without any of that other stuff. And so, if He's doing that for you guys, I wouldn't question for a second. Even if you said that I don't know Jesus, but God changed my heart, I'm not going to question it. That's between you and God. Well, who am I to judge that, you guys? All I know is what I have and what God's given me. That's the only thing that I know. What a great fellowship, you guys, tonight. Absolutely amazing, you guys. Man, good stuff. Remember, you guys, drop your anger. 100% without a doubt, drop your anger. If you got to use it for sports or for working out or whatever, do not identify with it. Don't fall into identifying with the anger. It is not you. If you use it, fine. I don't know. I'm not going to be the judge of that. That's between you and God. But I can tell you, if you're holding on to anger, you're falling away from God. The more anger you get, the further away from God you go. You have to drop the anger. God is not of anger. God is not of hate. God is of love and love only. And there's no place for anger. That is Satan's. You got to leave it with him. Give that anger back to Satan. Let him keep it. It's not yours anyway. That anger is not yours. God wants you to be emotionless. He doesn't want you to be an emotion. He doesn't want you to be angry and sad and happy and all those things. God wants you to just have perfect peace. Perfect peace knowing that you are one with him. Emotionless. Zero emotion. That way you're not out thinking about all that stuff. If you don't have emotion, you don't feel bad for people. If you don't have emotion, you're not out searching for that next high. If you don't have emotion, you can't be manipulated. Imagine how beautiful it is to not have emotion, you guys. Trust me. Take emotion out of it, and everything in the world comes into perfect peace. Every single thing. It will all be perfect for you. So, anyway, if I can leave you with that, you guys, drop your anger, overcome, see what's going on inside your thoughts, watch your thoughts so you know what's going on inside. Go and forgive your parents for giving you that spirit. So that way God can forgive you. Go and forgive. So you can be forgiven. God will give you that perfect love that you can then take that love and give it to others. What's worse, emotion or anger? Ooh, Lobola. My goodness, brother. Hold on. I'll just write that down. I'm just going to go ahead and steal that one. We're gonna write that because that one's gonna be a fellowship topic. Lobola, thank you, brother. Mm. Emotion or anger. My God. Love you, Lobola. Man, amazing, you guys. Anger is an emotion. Nice. You guys come in hot with that, Lobola. They came in hot. Nice. Good stuff. We're definitely going to talk about that. It says, Shalom, Shalom, my friend. There is righteous anger and unrighteous anger. Yep, that's right. His ways are not our ways. Isn't that right, Ish? Our ways are not his ways. Human anger and God's anger are two different things. God's anger is emotionless. There is no emotion in God's anger. But people are very confused by that because they only can see their anger. Humans only see human anger. They don't understand discernment. That same discernment that God gave Jesus, which is the same discernment that he used to flip the tables so he could get that point across but not be angry. See, Jesus was able to flip the tables but not out of anger. You guys see that? That's the point. Go ahead and read over that verse of Jesus flipping the tables. Read over it. Read over the couple passages before it and a couple passages after it, and look into that and see if you can see what I see in the fact that Jesus was able to flip those tables and he was able to do it without anger, human anger. He was able to do it through discernment of evil. Let's see. It says Jesus drove the people from his father's house. Hmm, interesting. Very interesting. They were turning it into a store. Huh. I don't know anything about that, brother. But that's very interesting stuff. What they were like trying to sell, they're sell like trying to sell people to way into heaven. They were letting people come and give them money so that and then they were saying that they could buy their way in or something. Is that what you mean, Ish? If so, that's deep. Okay, I get what he's saying now. He's right. It means what I think. Is that what you're thinking too, Wicked? What I just said? That now you can come and you can just give money to the church and buy your way to heaven. I think that's what he's talking about. They were selling sacrifices that were free. Hmm. Is that kind of like, is that's so that's going on still, right? There's a deeper meaning. He's definitely got a deeper meaning here, Ish. I know you got deeper meaning, like giving money at church, Wicked. Yeah. Next to Ezekiel 23:20 explains it all. Okay. Very interesting. Can you write it? Can you copy and paste it so I can read it next to? That would be awesome, man. Doves, lambs, etc. Oh, they were sacrificing those things. Okay. So they were making people pay for the sacrifices that were supposed to be free because they were from God, not to be made money on. But instead they were manipulating it to make money. And so, which means it wouldn't be from God, right? It would have been from the material world. If that's the lesson I think that I'm supposed to be getting from that, if I'm reading it right. Gotcha. Yep. Amazing, brother. Very deep, you guys. Heck yeah. Nice. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna get out of here, man. It's been amazing. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Tomorrow we'll be on more of our regular schedule. I think tomorrow's going to be a banger. So you guys be ready for that. Get your guys' Bibles out. It's going to be some real Bible thumping. Labola, get your Bible out ready for tomorrow, brother. The thumpers are going to be coming for this one. I have a feeling. Who knows, though? I won't have an expectation because it seems like every time you expect something, man, it's always something different. So, but it's going to get deep either way. It's going to get real deep. Who knows what can happen? So, all right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for all the new subscribers. Yep. Peace be with you, and peace be with use. Yeah, Wicked. Hey, man, welcome you guys. All the new people, Wicked. Like you said, I I don't know if you were really in here before. It seems like I remember you from before, but if not, anyway, welcome. And you guys come back and hang out. We'll be here tomorrow night. We'll be starting sometime after 9 p.m. Central, right around 9 sometime. I'll get started tomorrow. Just depends on what else going on, but it'll be much earlier than tonight. So, all right, guys, you guys have a great night. Much love. Peace.